Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Chase Geiser Network. I am your host this evening, Chase Geiser, joined by my esteemed co-host, Steven Bak. Welcome to the transmission from FEMA Region 4. If you are receiving this transmission, you are indeed the Resistance. And frankly, I don't even know where to begin. I never know exactly where to begin, because the news every day is so insane, and we've got new details every single day. But at the same time that we receive these new details, we are met with the same macro story, the same fractal pattern existing that has existed ever since the Garden of Eden. When the information war began, it is not a war that is won or lost. It is a war that you're either winning or losing. A gerund. It's present, progressive, ongoing. And you go all the way back to the information war at the beginning, to the Garden of Eden. We had the great deception, the desire for knowledge, the desire for an understanding of truth, which ultimately led to the demise of the species. Our death, our working by the sweat of our brow, our pain in childbirth. That was the beginning of good versus evil. Obviously, evil existed before we ate from the tree of knowledge, but the beginning of the war between good and evil occurred as soon as we reached that first taste of enlightenment. And then we've seen time and time again throughout our history, throughout the extent of written history whatsoever, whether you believe in myth or the actual fiction or history itself, we've seen conspiracy after conspiracy after conspiracy. In fact, I believe the term conspiracy theory was actually used for the first time in the late 19th century. It wasn't even used for the first time pertaining to the JFK assassination. Of course, it was made popular by the committees on the JFK assassination, but it was used in the late 19th century. However, it is really kind of an unfair negative connotation because our history is wrought with conspiracy. Of course, you can go back to the Garden of Eden and you can see that there was a conspiracy to undermine the integrity of our relationship with God. You can see time and time again in the Bible, conspiracy after conspiracy. You can see in the Iliad or the Odyssey, conspiracy after conspiracy after conspiracy. You can see the conspiracy that resulted in the death of Julius Caesar, a famous conspiracy, perhaps the most famous conspiracy. Virtually every war that we've ever been in, go all the way back to Shakespeare, and there's conspiracy after conspiracy in most of his most famous works. And we see that our history is wrought with it, yet there is this movement from the abyss, from the vast vacuum of nothingness that evil seems to just project, that insists on conspiracy after conspiracy after conspiracy, meaning that something isn't true. Oh, it's just a conspiracy theory that Charlie Kirk was killed by a lapel microphone instead of a 30-06. Oh, it's just a conspiracy theory that you believe that TPUSA is problematic and Erica Kirk worked for the CIA. Oh, it's just a conspiracy theory X. It's just a conspiracy theory Y. It's used time and time again to undermine the legitimate arguments of those who genuinely seek truth. And here we are in the climax of the information war, where there has been such great conspiracy that InfoWars cannot even call itself InfoWars anymore. It has to be Alex Jones Live or AJN Live. The irony that the information war cannot even call itself InfoWars because of the conspiracy against it itself is not lost upon me or you, the listener. And so here we are in the middle of this Trump administration, where we're told time and time again that this is a conspiracy, that's a conspiracy. Trump knows exactly what he's doing. This administration knows exactly what it's doing. Trusts the plan, 4D chess, 5D chess, 6D chess. We've won the war 40, 50, 60, 70 times. We're told that it's just a conspiracy theory, that there's something wrong with the Federal Reserve. Don't worry, I've seen the gold. I've counted the gold. I've weighed the gold. There's actually gold in Fort Knox. The dollar is sound. It is backed by our actual precious metals. Don't worry. You can totally trust the fiat currency that is the US dollar, despite the fact that it's lost 85% of its value since 1971. Don't worry. It's just a conspiracy. Unemployment's below 5%. And anyone who brings up the atrociously low labor force participation, well, they're just a conspiracy theorist. And frankly, I am sick of the accusations. I'm sick of the allegations. I'm sick of the weaponization of the intelligence apparatus, the unchecked fourth branch of government that our founding fathers could never have even dreamed would be as powerful as it is today. And therefore, they did not install the checks and balances such as they did between the judicial, executive, and legislative branches in the United States government, because they did not anticipate this unchecked fourth branch of government, which is very clearly, very obviously waging an information war against us conspiracy theorists. Of course, we saw under the Biden administration incessant accusations of conspiracy theories, shutting down YouTube channels that were critical of vaccines, shutting down YouTube channels that were critical of Fauci as leftists worshipped him as if he was some kind of a televangelist himself. The Son of God himself, standing at 5'2", coming in with nothing but AIDS, AZT, and lies about the efficacy and safety of vaccines, which were meant to inoculate the entire population in response to a manufactured virus by the very same man. We saw what the Biden administration did, and this is something that has not been stopped by the Trump administration, where it pressured social media companies, publicly traded tech companies, to weaponize censorship. Given that the government of the United States of America cannot legally violate the First Amendment itself, it delegated and outsourced the task to all of these big tech companies, which have conglomerated all technological power and now artificial intelligence into just a handful of companies that have any sort of critical mass. And this pressure is applied by this executive branch, by the prior executive branch, and it certainly will be by the next executive branch to silence conspiracy theorists. And who would want to silence conspiracy theorists more than the conspirators themselves? In fact, the greatest conspiracy of all could be that the conspirators are trying to silence conspiracy theorists. This is the crux of the information war. It's truth versus deceit. It's good versus evil. And I'm torn as a human being because we see from the very first chapter of the very first book of Genesis, we see that the very fall of man himself was because of a desire for the knowledge of good and evil, a desire for enlightenment. And so I'm asking myself, I'm asking the audience, I'm asking Bak, I'm asking everyone who cares to listen, is it actually good that we seek the truth, or is it perpetuating the very fall we have been victim of ever since Adam and Eve themselves? And so here we are today, with a war that we've won dozens of times, with a conflict that's been going on for decades, escalating to potential nuclear collapse of the entire civilization, the entire species off the face of the planet. We've got billionaires building bunkers all over the world. We've got nepotism happening to such an extent that the daughter of the president himself is buying islands to which she can install bunkers. We've got Zuckerberg in Hawaii installing bunkers. Countless examples of billionaire class members not only participating in secret societies like Dialogue, where they talk about is it good or not to get laid, but moving to Argentina, purchasing babies to raise for tax purposes. As celebrity gossip pundits slaughter themselves on live stream. And I'm wondering myself, what good is it to know the truth versus the lie? Should I even pursue this knowledge, this understanding? And overwhelmingly, I think the answer is yes. Perhaps ignorance was bliss, but ignorance is exploited by a corrupt, evil, satanic political class. And we've seen, even if you look at the movie Metropolis from 1924 or 27, one of those years, the Art Deco public domain masterpiece, the whole crux of that story is a machine man. If you give me but 24 hours, I will make this machine look more mortal than mortal, the scientist says in some Frankenstein-esque style, some macabre approach at this dystopia. And now we're faced with the same exact problem where we have this artificial intelligence renaissance happening right before our eyes, and it's so embedded in the zeitgeist, the archetype of humanity. You go back thousands of years, you go back 100 years, you go back to the 19th century, we've always known that science would be used to create artificial intelligence in our image, just as God created us in his image. It is our attempt at becoming God himself, which is the very reason that we ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil in the first place, so we could be like God. And now, in the absence of any faith, of any belief in God himself, the technocrats and the political class have decided not only to develop the technology to make themselves immortal, but to develop the technology to replace the working class throughout the entire globe. Not just the working class in America, but the working class itself. So that once humanity doesn't matter, once working people don't matter anymore, they can be eradicated as the liability that they are to their political power, to their property, to their ownership. So they seek to develop themselves into these technocratic, transhumanist, immortal elites where their consciousness can be duplicated and embedded into technology indefinitely into the future, like something from altered carbon, while they simultaneously use artificial intelligence to replace the working class of the world so they can develop a surveillance state and weapons of mass destruction such that they can eradicate anybody that would ever rise up against them. And while we're all slaving away and working underground and working extra hours because the demand on the market is increasing and inflation is increasing rapidly, we have a political class that just sees the gains in the market. We have a president of the United States bragging about how we control the Strait of Hormuz as the price of oil skyrockets, disproportionately impacting negatively those of us who are among the working class. And then they wonder why populism is the future, why populism is rising up, and they suggest or they insist that censorship is necessary. I mean, we've seen even from this administration that those who have been critical of Israel have been deported, first prioritized as national security threats to be deported from the United States of America. From this administration that was supposed to save us from the political class has instead embedded itself within and empowered the same political class. It has joined the Sith instead of destroying them. This is the climax in the war between good and evil, and we've seen the tide ebb and flow every century, every decade. For hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, we've seen things get bad. We've seen empires rise and empires entropy. We've seen the rise of Rome, the fall of Rome, the rise of the British Empire, the fall of the British Empire, the rise of the Aztec Empire, the fall of the Aztec Empire, the rise of the American Empire, and now finally the fall of the American Empire. And the question is not whether the future will be populist, but what form of populism it will embody. Is it going to be leftist populism like the National Socialists from the Third Reich in the 1930s? Or is it going to be some neo-populist party, some new right wing that takes over and finally insists that individuals have rights in the United States of America, not just in America, but the world over? Are we going to successfully avoid making the same mistake that Germany made in the 1930s by embodying a different version of populism, nationalism in the 2030s? Because I'm telling you right now, all of the tragedies that we saw in the end of the 20s and into the 30s, the Great Depression, the fall of the stock market, we're going to experience the exact same things. We are living in decadence akin only to something from the Great Gatsby in the 1920s right before the fall. The near total collapse of our society itself, the starvation of millions upon millions of people, the train hopping, just begging for work for a quarter a day, the seizure of all gold except for your wedding band by Roosevelt himself, by the way. This happened in the 1930s, to which the only solution, the only cure was a second World War. And frankly, I don't think there's a difference between World War I and World War II. There was just an intermission called the Roaring Twenties in between. World War II is just an extension, a response to World War I. And World War III, frankly, is going to be a response to World War II. We've just enabled and empowered the potential for a longer intermission between. But there is just one great world war. There has ever been and ever will be, and that is the war between good and evil. That is the crux of the information war. So tonight we're going to be breaking down the latest, doing our best to give you the news and unpacking this reality. But I know that we're all fatigued. We're all so tired of talking about the politics. AOC froze her eggs. Karoline Leavitt resigns. Joe Kent resigns. Kash Patel still the director of the FBI. We're all just so sick and tired of the political conversation. And I understand why. I'm sick and tired of it too. Trump was supposed to come in. He was supposed to save the United States of America, and he has failed to do so, and there's really no hope that he's going to do so by 2028, by the inauguration of the next president in 2029. And so since Trump has failed us, so many of us, have arrived at this conclusion that if Trump can't do it, then no one can. And we just hope and pray that we're living in end times because we're finally coming to the realization that the only salvation for humanity is Jesus Christ. So please, God, send him back. Please, God, let it be the end of the world. Please, God, end all of this, because obviously there's no human on the face of the earth that has the character, the competence, or the audacity to do anything about it, because all the good men stay at home in the comfort of their homes with the entertainment of their Netflix and the aversion to politics because it's so boring and corrupt, and they don't want to put their families through the slaughter of their reputation, the humiliation. So why would any normal person put themselves through this hell when we saw what Thomas Massey went through, when we've seen what Rand Paul's gone through, when we saw what Ron Paul went through, when we saw what Edward Snowden's going through? I mean, the motherfucker still hasn't been pardoned. He's still living in Moscow, and everyone's like, oh, well, he had to seek refuge in Moscow. Must have been a Russian asset. No, you dumb fuck. That's where his plane landed when it was going to be intercepted. He's stuck in Russia. And what's even worse, speaking of an information war, which is the very foundation of the whole story with Edward Snowden, the man comes out and reveals to the public that through the Patriot Act and the FISA courts and the technology that was developed by the NSA and the CIA, the government has been illegally violating our Fourth Amendment rights in the United States of America, spying on us through webcams, through microphones, reading our emails, monitoring our financial transactions, and nobody does anything about it. And back then when it came out, the only thing Republicans had to say was that he was a traitor. And we've done nothing to fight for our rights, to take back our rights. I don't even know what to tell you. I am so ashamed of my fellow Americans. Frankly, I'm ashamed of myself that we've allowed our nation to get to this point. I mean, George Washington would spit on our faces. Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, spit on our faces. After the sacrifices they made, after the risks they took, and we do nothing about it but just pray that the next election will be different. It's never different. The next round of Republicans never undoes the corruption of the past round. The next round of Democrats never undoes the corruption of the past round. There is no salvation through the electoral system. And Jesus Christ can save your soul, but it's up to us to save our country. What do you think, Bak?
First, let's watch this drive. Thank you, Mr. C, USA Patriot, for the first super chat of the night. $10, very generous, sir. The biggest conspiracy in history is the idea that we are separated from God. And the greatest conspiracy in history is the killing of Jesus Christ. Let's not forget that one. You little Sadducees, you little Pharisees, you little faggots. Thank you, TK Mills 173 for the Jammin' Jewels. And thank you, Skipper 1776. That was a great year. $4.99 for the super chat. Unk, y'all need a call-in show. We do. It's called the 4th Hour, members only. Join us in the spaces, but keep the stream alive. I mean, that was an amazing monologue. I was sitting here about to bust a nut in my pants.
Thanks.
And yeah, I have no faith in the political system. Obviously, we're going to cover Karoline Leavitt resigning. I think that this was part of the course. Typically,
yeah,
the past 3 administrations, you've seen them rotate out press secretaries about halfway in.
Yeah.
So then they have a surrogate. If you're left wing, they
Can
go to...
we just remember for a minute that Jen Psaki's show after she left was called Inside with Jen Psaki?
I thought it was Inside of Jen Psaki.
But the logo looked like it just said Inside Jen Psaki, so they changed it to the briefing with Jen Psaki.
I figured they'd lean in and call it Circling Back with Jen Psaki. Remember? And then they brought in that...
She finally answers all the questions in like the first 10 episodes. She's like, yes, he has dementia.
You watched the show?
No,
I don't know anyone that's
wouldn't
watched
that be hysterical
show.
though if she actually did circle back in the first
Yeah. Like 2 years later.
Yeah, he had dementia. I told you I'd circle back, you fucks.
Who was Trump's press secretary, Trump 45? Do you remember her name?
Well, he had 2. He had what was that guy's name? White dude, middle aged.
Oh yeah, Sean Spicer.
Sean Spicer was the first one.
Yep. So he rotated out
and
about
then
the halfway mark.
it was Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Remember, she was press secretary for a while.
Yeah, you're right. And then, but he had another one. Who was the one that she always wears across? She's real skinny.
Oh, McEnany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this has been.
Oh my
part
God,
of the course.
I do know Paul. If you
know
know all the press secretaries from 2 administrations
Hey, I
ago.
got Sean Spicer right.
No, that's good though.
Thank you.
I just remember when I was a kid, listening to the radio, thinking like, wondering and watching the news on TV, wondering like how the hell Could I ever do that job? This is when I was like 12, 13 years old. Oh, man, that's so cool that they know the names of all these people. You know what I mean? Because you're 13 years old. You don't know who the fuck the press secretary is or the treasury secretary is, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, what 13-year-old?
Right.
If you're a 13-year-old,
man, how do they know who that is?
paying attention to politics.
Now I can list all the press secretaries from 2 admins ago. Shit.
Well, dude, we're dialed in.
Well, who did we have under Biden? Karoline Jean-Pierre.
Yeah, we had Jen Psaki, then Karoline Jean-Pierre, and then now Trump. Leavitt's obviously rotating out. This has been part of the course. I don't think this is a conspiracy.
Who's next? That's the question.
Do you think it's going to be a strong black man? A strong black woman?
Watch it be J.D. Vance, vice president and press secretary.
I mean, is there a short list of people?
Should be Alex
names
Jones.
been floating around? Oh, that would be such a good job.
If I was Trump, I'd rotate it every week. There'd be 50 press secretaries by the end of this administration.
You know he would never go Alex Jones, though. That'd be like the dream team.
Alex would go out there and be like, I don't know what the fuck the president's doing.
Listen, the globalists have us pinned in a corner now.
Oh, my God, it's going to be fucking Mark Levin. Or Sebastian Gorka. Mark Levin. It'll be Mark
Sebastian
Levin.
Gorka has a position with the administration
it'll
right
be.
now.
I bet you it's Mark Levin. I bet you the next fucking press secretary is Mark Levin. You mark my words. No pun
I'm
intended.
going to mark your words that it's Mark Levin.
Dude, what if it's fucking Mark Levin?
That'd be horrifying, dude.
What has he tweeted recently? Is he teasing it?
No, he's not going to leave his job at Fox News.
Dude, he'll get his job back. He only does the Sunday show. He could do both.
Those micro penis treatments are expensive.
Oh, I think he might have blocked me, dude.
Yeah, why wouldn't he have blocked you?
Oh my God, did Mark Levin block me?
Are you devastated?
Yeah, what will I ever do?
I'm going to take this time to shout out the next super chat. Thank you, Skipper1776, for the $5 super chat. Once again, didn't know you had a 4th hour. I'm hammered over and out. Yeah, if you sign up at the website or on the YouTube channel as a member, we do have a free membership on the website. You can catch the pre-show and the 4th hour. So, just a little plug there for you guys.
Dude, it's going to fucking be...
It's not going to be Mark Levin, dude. He's way too toxic. Do you want to hit clip 1, 2, 3?
Sure, give me a second here.
He's
Clip
definitely got you
100?
Clip 123 would be the
We're
Leavitt.
skipping ahead? Okay.
Well, I mean, might as well just get out of the way.
Ties in 1, 2, 3. All right, here you go.
This is from President Trump on Truth Social. Our wonderful White House press secretary and one of my most trusted aides, Karoline Leavitt, will be departing her role at the end of the month so that she can spend more time with her beautiful young children and family. A decision I totally understand and respect. Karoline will now be one of my top outside advisors and an influential voice within the Republican Party as we work to defy history and conclusively win the midterm elections.
Is that a curtain over the White House that looks like the front of the White House? It is.
What does that symbolize?
I mean, they're probably just remodeling the actual
okay.
front, so they put a giant curtain up of how it's supposed to look. That's so bizarre, dude.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a conspiracy theory behind that. This has been a part of the course. They're just rotating out.
Yeah. It's gonna be funny though because she's allegedly resigning so she can spend more time with her baby and her husband or whatever. But
she's gonna be on Fox News.
Yeah,
in late
your wisdom
30s.
teeth are growing in.
Yeah, I'm a late bloomer.
I heard something about your wisdom teeth being like really good for you.
Yeah, they contain stem cells. You shouldn't pull them out. There's been another conspiracy to get your stem cells out of you, and apparently, if you age your urine, it turns into a plasma where hundreds of millions of stem cells multiply.
What are you supposed to do? Re-inject your urine in your body?
No, you're supposed to drink it again after.
No.
Yeah, I don't do it, but
dude,
that's been the logic behind it.
That's a joke, dude.
It's not a joke.
They're
Dude, that's an
fucking with you.
ancient practice.
Dude.
What do you mean? Who's they? The monks in Tibet are fucking with me? Like the people.
Look what happened to them.
They live a long time, man.
If I see another free Tibet bumper sticker, dude, we saw what happened, and they got wrecked by the CCP. Those who meditate get conquered, dude.
Do you know who Lyoto Machida was?
I'm just going to focus on introspection. Everybody who focuses on introspection gets fucked. Everyone.
Lyoto Machida was a half Japanese, half Brazilian UFC fighter that drank his urine.
Yeah. What happened to him?
He became the champion.
In Japan?
No, in the UFC.
Oh.
He used karate and urine to reach the top.
I do have a theory, though. I think introspection is probably the most unhealthy thing you can possibly do. I think the whole therapy, SSRI, trauma bullshit that we have in our culture is totally taking us down. I think that cultures that have focused on introspection, whether it was the Native Americans with the ayahuasca and the peyote, or whether it was the Buddhists with the meditation, they all just get conquered and wrecked by people that are much less introspective, much less spiritual, much more pragmatic.
No, that's not just a thought. Meditation is a new age practice. And what's the Bible say? Keep your cup full.
What does that mean?
Let your cup runneth over means be filled with the Holy Spirit of God. When you're meditating, you're actually doing the complete opposite. You're trying to clear your mind. You clear your mind with, whatever was in there. What
you're
do you
trying to empty your cup. You're trying to empty your cup.
No, you're trying to fill your cup with the
Holy Spirit. I know, but when you're meditating, you're trying to empty your cup.
And then something else is going to fill the void.
Like Satan. All right, Let's get into the news. First, let's talk about this solar shit, okay?
Mm-hmm.
For the first time in centuries, Iceland's iconic Blue Lagoon, named one of Nat Geo's wonders of the world, lies directly in the path of totality.
It's definitely a historic moment because this is the first time since 1433 that the moon's umbral shadow touches upon this area. So we haven't seen this visual spectacle and this experience for 593 years.
Who gives
Here,
a fuck?
People will see that rare moment when the moon aligns perfectly with the sun, casting a shadow over the earth.
More than 20 states will get a glimpse of a partial eclipse tomorrow when the moon slips in front of the sun. The best views are expected in Alaska, but many Americans are looking to catch the full show, and they're traveling overseas to experience the total solar eclipse. In Iceland, the moon will completely block the sun, briefly turning day into night.
Oh, who fucking cares?
Well, this is.
Do you remember the last solar eclipse?
Yeah, everyone had the
Jones was like,
glasses on.
I made love to my wife in the middle of it in the yard. You remember that?
No, I don't remember.
Dude. He leaked it.
Did he conceive during the solar eclipse?
No, I don't think so. He's 52 years old, man.
I'm not someone that's into woo-woo shit like astrology or zodiac signs or crystals or any of that shit. But I do find this one very peculiar because the only things I'll pay attention to for signs in the stars, like that Bible verse says, is our blood moons. And when something weird like this, where there's like 4 events happening at once, I do think if we go back to that, Genesis 1:14 states God created the lights in the sky for signs and for seasons and for days and years, establishing a general purpose of marking time and serving as indicators and potentially omens.
Wasn't that mostly indicators for like agriculture, like when to plant your crops, when to harvest your crops, how to get to fucking North America?
Do you believe in doomsday omens? Do you believe like?
I mean, I believe the Bible's true, but I don't think anybody's really gotten the interpretation of the Book of Revelation, right?
Well, it says for signs and for seasons. It makes a distinction. Yeah. Obviously, what you just said.
But a sign is like something that tells you which direction to go. Couldn't that just be the North Star?
Yeah, or it could be, hey, I'm not pleased with you. Here's a sign for how displeased I am with your ass.
Yeah, but all the celestial bodies are predictable.
Yeah, but I think if God was pleased, you'd see like this fluffy moon blue cloud, and it's like, good job. And I think if God's pissed off, you're probably going to see a blood red moon. Like, hey, I'm about to fuck your whole civilization
up. You don't think it has to do
up.
with like the atmosphere?
You've been bunning each other in the butthole, dude. I'm about to Sodom and Gomorrah your ass, dude. So that's, I mean, if we go to the next clip, I do kind of see the value of this.
There's strange being said about tomorrow online, and we are going to check whether any of it holds up. By the end, you will know exactly what to look for, when, and where. Tomorrow, 4 separate astronomical events land inside a single 24-hour window, and along one narrow strip of the planet, every one of them is visible from the same patch of ground. Here's the schedule. Before sunrise, 6 planets stand above the horizon at the same time.
So it's been a planetary alignment.
Later in the day, the moon slides directly across the face of the sun.
Solar eclipse
produces
happened.
A total solar eclipse. At 5:37 in the evening, Universal Time,
that already happened, right?
Yes. Yep.
And once the sky goes dark,
and this
the
is tonight,
meteor shower hits its annual peak with no moonlight interfering at all.
Okay, so what?
I mean, I don't know the significance of it, but the last time anything like this happened was the 1400s.
Well, aren't we supposed to lose gravity?
Yeah.
A wild online
so this gets wild.
Theory.
For 7 seconds, gravity is going to no longer exist.
That alleges the Earth will lose its gravity for 7 seconds.
That was supposed to be today.
Mass death and destruction.
It still happened.
And you are afraid of heights. It's better to be safe than sorry, because I'm not trying to go out like that.
As online posters.
But if we lost gravity, you wouldn't go flying into the sky. You just float around for like 7 seconds.
Well, who would know?
Event.
project called Project Anchor that NASA has an $89 billion budget for, and the plan is to see if Earth can survive losing gravity.
Here's what we know about Project Anchor and the wild rumors circulating about Earth losing gravity on August 12th. A viral rumor straight out of science fiction has been gripping conspiracy theorists on social media and has even led the US's leading agency to clear up the confusion. According to the fact-checking website Snopes, a theory was posted on Instagram in December 2025 by a now-deleted account
bunch of
which
butch-ass
boldly
lesbians.
claimed
The only
that
good thing
Earth
Disney
would
Star
lose
Wars did was
gravity
make
for
Snopes
7
exist.
seconds on August 12th, and that, quote, NASA knows, and, quote, won't tell us why.
So this is NASA's statement.
So what is supposed to happen in the next 3.5 hours?
It's not going to happen. It's an online hoax but NASA had to come out and directly address it. The Earth will not lose gravity August 12, 2026. Earth's gravity or total gravitational force is determined by its mass. The only way for Earth to lose gravity would be for the Earth system, the combined mass of its core, mantle, crust, ocean, terrestrial water, atmosphere, and Lizzo. Sorry, you fuck me. To lose mass. A total solar...
Lizzo goes on Ozempic, we lose gravity for 7 seconds.
Obviously, I added the Lizzo thing. A total solar eclipse has no unusual impact on Earth's gravity. The gravitational attraction of the sun, moon, and the stars on Earth, which doesn't impact Earth's total gravity, but does impact tidal forces, is well understood and is predictable decades in advance.
Let me ask you this. Do you think the moon is artificial?
I haven't made my mind up on that yet. I do know that there are Indian... feathers, not dots, creation myths. And it was across a lot of tribes where they depicted in paintings and in oral tradition, at one point the Earth didn't have a moon. So there is some history to that.
At one point the Earth didn't have a moon?
Yeah. There's a lot of oral traditions and there's paintings and drawings and stuff like that that depict an Earth with just the sun. And they say that the Earth was artificial. It's an artificial construct. And the sizing of the moon is pretty peculiar. It's the perfect distance away to have a gravitational force with the tides, and it's the perfect diameter.
The sun. Yeah.
It's the perfect diameter to block the sun.
Hold on, let's unpack this a little bit.
And we know Dave Patriot for the $5 super chat. Alex for press secretary. It's going to be very interesting to see who he chooses now that Trump is Israel first. Yeah.
Mark Levin. Watch it fucking be Mark Levin.
No, don't speak that into existence.
Dude, we'd have so much content. We'd have so much content of Mark.
No, just be us ragging on him.
It's going to be fucking Mark Levin or Pam Bondi. He'll bring Bondi back.
No, it's not going to be any of them. I do think it's going to be...
Who's it going to be?
Okay,
Who?
well, Trump is a...
Thomas Massey.
No, there's some good guesses here.
Okay.
Where Trump is a wartime president now, right? He's going to
some military guy?
I think it's going to be some sort of... I think it's going to be a man, personally.
Look
the
at this
Trump
guy.
secretary
Look
is
at
going
this
to have
guy.
a dick.
My boy right there.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the Trump secretary, the next press secretary for Trump is going to have a penis. He's going to have probably a Giga Chad chiseled jaw. I think it's going to be a prior service guy. A no-nonsense, no frills. Oh, my gosh. He's just sitting there jaw maxing on screen. Dun, 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 dun.
Seriously, name names. Who do you think it's going to be?
Dude, there's so many people that it could be, but I'm just
like Trey
guessing.
Gowdy or somebody like that, and somebody pulled from media.
No, I don't think it's going to be from media. I think it's going to be someone from. I think it's probably going to be like ex-Pentagon.
Really?
It's going to be a no-nonsense, no-frills person, and it's going to be someone to portray strength.
Yeah, it's got to be somebody with military.
Dude, he's a wartime president.
It's got to be somebody with military knowledge who's very pro the war in Iran. So Lindsey Graham would have been perfect.
No, Lindsey, he would have never gave up the Senate seat.
I know, but like his type, somebody that's just I guess,
in the mold. No,
he doesn't have any military.
Gay
he doesn't have any military experience.
Yeah,
right?
I'm telling you, it's going to be someone. It's going to be someone that's prior service. It's going to be someone who can portray strength on behalf of Trump 47.
Who am I missing? It's going to be so when he announces it's going to be so obvious.
Yeah,
right?
No, it's not going to be obvious. It's going to be a fool's errand to guess the person. It'd be better to guess the background and
Mark
the mold.
Levin. Mark Levin.
No, I'm not going with Mark Levin.
What if it is? What will you think? Will you say, Chase, I'm so sorry you were right?
I would be like, oh, you were right.
Shit.
Since we are getting on the war news, we discussed the trilateral deal between Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, and Turkey, and now it's apparent that it's being expanded. Yep.
Who do you think could, because this could grow, it could be a wider regional defense bloc that we're seeing forming here. And if that becomes the case, who would you see being part of that expansion?
Well, time will tell. In my opinion, we have to look at this differently. I think there's a lot of discussion on Egypt, but there's also a lot of discussion on the non-Saudi Arab Gulf countries, as in Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, of course, and Oman. Now, for me, while I think this is something welcome, and they're all not the same, this has to be mentioned, in my opinion, they have a different calculation. While they may welcome...
All right, I'm already bored. You think when that guy goes to a picnic, he just takes off his hat and just lays it down? Throws the basket
that hat
on top?
never comes on. He doesn't take that hat off to fuck, to swim, to shower.
What if you take it off and it's just like Medusa? Just
No, you're going to take it off and you're going to see some heavy male pattern baldness.
Yeah.
100%.
All right, so what happens in this boring-ass fucking clip?
Well, I mean, I kept it short
Mecca
for
Defense
you.
Pact.
Yeah.
Saudi, Turkey, and Pakistan. They're all getting together. We talked about this.
No, but this is... we're just bringing... It's the only clip I have on it. Trust me.
All right.
What it indicates is the U.S. has been iced out of the Strait of Hormuz deal. It's just Iran and Oman now. And now you're seeing the U.S. iced out of the greater region itself by our own allies. So it's looking like the retreat from the Middle East is happening,
Listen,
whether we want it to happen or not.
I'm going to watch this clip, and I want you to tell me everything you know about Atlantis.
Mid-Atlantic Ridge. Here's the Azores Plateau right here. Here's the Pillars of Heracles, so the Mediterranean is here. Plato describes sailing west, coming to a group of islands, then coming to Atlantis, then going on and coming to the real continent beyond. There are submerged mountains under the sea. The Atlantis, Cruiser, and Great Meteor Seamounts was found by echo sounding and submarine photography to have a fairly flat bedrock summit area at about 180 fathoms, not that deep, covered in some cases by cobbles, rocks about the size of your fist. One of the cobbles gave an apparent radiocarbon age of 12,000 years, plus or minus 900. It's right there. It's right effing there.
Atlantis. What happened?
I think they probably tried to build some energy device that ended up destroying the whole civilization, similar to a nuclear explosion.
Like a version of the Tower of Babel?
No, the Tower of Babel was more of like, I'm sure it was an actual physical structure that had a different purpose, but God got angry at the Tower of Babel because it was the first attempt at a global world government. It was the first attempt at centralization.
Do you think so? You think it was like globalist? It was like the Davos of the time?
Well, look at what the punishment for it was. God created all these different races. He completely decentralized the language. And he spread the region, the peoples of the region, and scattered them all over the earth. So the punishment's always going to fit the crime when it comes to God.
So what do you think happens to humanity when it reverses one of God's punishments? So God punished us by making it so that we spoke different languages. Now with artificial intelligence, effectively speaking, we're like, what, a year or 2 years away from me being able to sit in a room with Xi Jinping and have everything
a
instantly
universal
translated?
translator?
Yeah. Do you think God likes it when we just loophole through his condemnation?
No, of course not. And if you look at the biblical history, you can never fully reverse a curse and you can never undo a covenant. So God's word is eternal. It's a pillar you can build on. His punishments are going to be eternal too.
So what's he going to do when we come up with a universal translator?
Probably burn the whole house down with fire, since he's promised not to do it again with water. And what could produce fire?
This time you'll be praying for a flood.
Yeah, nuclear material. That would be sulfur and brimstone.
Maybe that's the best indicator that we're close to end times, because we're almost hacking aging. Right, so that there goes your, you will surely die, even though you would still die if you stopped aging. It would just be, fluke accidents and things like that.
Yeah, well, look at what happened during the days of Noah. They got into genetic experimentation. They were mixing.
What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
Tell me. Genetic experimentation?
Yeah,
with Noah.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
Noah was.
I'm not arguing. I'm just
Noah was kept apart and instructed to build an ark because he was one of the last remnants of humanity that had pure Adamic DNA.
What does Adamic mean?
Meaning from the line of Adam.
Oh, without the Nephilim fucking
around? And then
around?
this goes into the whole thing with Cain being cast off into the land of Nod. And then his son Seth, and then Seth bore Tubal-Cain. And then they were the first city builders. They were the metal workers. They were the ones building technology. So they obviously had some sort of scientific shit going on. And then they were mixing the seed. And then there were all these hybrid chimeras everywhere that God never licensed or sanctioned to be created. So then he told Noah and gave him his test. Listen, I'm going to flood this bitch out in like 70 years. Then his wife was like, you're always working on that damn boat and you're not loving on me enough. And he's like, shut up, woman. I got my instructions from the man. I'm going to seal this bitch up with tar. I need the planks this wide, this tall, 2 of every animal. You shut your mouth or I'll Ronald Reagan you. And then he stayed faithful and the lineage of Adam was preserved. And then everything was flooded, but some things escaped via what I would like to believe is some sort of weird high-tech hovercraft. And then they made their nest amongst the stars, but then
the
God
moon. On the
back.
artificial moon, bro.
Well, who knows?
That's what Randall
Bible
Carlson
says,
thinks.
the
Randall
stars.
Carlson thinks that a segment of humanity, if I'm interpreting his videos correctly, escaped to the moon during the flood.
Well, that wouldn't be humanity. That would be something else. Thank you, Mr. C USA Patriot, for the $2 super chat. He says, oh my God, what if he picks Jigsaw for press secretary?
Oh, shit. Could be Loomer,
Chat's
dude.
been saying Laura Loomer.
Holy shit.
Chat's been saying Laura Loomer.
If it's fucking Laura Loomer, I will blow my fucking brains out on live stream.
No. Why would you do that?
I will go full
that'd be
Perez
better.
Hilton, dude. I'll just be like, it hurts, but I feel so good. I'd be cutting back to fucking Jigsaw me. That would be if the United States was Perez Hilton and was just slaughtering itself. That's Laura Loomer as the press secretary.
I think. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for Randall Carlson talking about escaping to the moon.
I do have a.
No,
this is very interesting.
We have to get to the bottom of this.
No,
moon
we
issue.
will get to the bottom of this.
We will?
Yeah, of course we will. I just gave you the.
I'm telling you what, man.
Historiography. You like that word? I just invented it.
I'd never heard of Adamic before.
No, I've said this to you before. Pre-Adamic world.
Yeah.
Meaning before even Adam.
I just never noticed,
We
I
weren't
guess.
the first man. Yeah, that just gave you the whole thing. Shut up, bitch, before Ronald Reagan you.
That's the land that came up.
That's the land that, yeah, I mean, I think there's a roof of a house in there. Can you imagine you're there having a nice... Yeah, look at that.
We had an earthquake here like 2 years ago. I was in the FedEx. I just hit the printer. I thought the printer just like fucked up.
Huh?
Yeah. So the theory is that during the flood, a segment of humanity escaped to the moon.
They
Nephilim,
weren't humans.
Right. Well, Nephilim are half human. Kind of, right? Like the giants.
Yeah, no, the giants. So
and there's all sorts of like...
That's a misnomer.
There's all sorts of hieroglyphs and stuff like that that depict people during a flood going to the moon.
Yeah, there's fallen angels. Then the Nephilim are any variety of hybrid fallen angel and whatever species that they chimerized. But the Rephaim are the giants.
Lisa Rephaim!
Exactly. So a lot of people get that nomenclature twisted. The Rephaim are the giants. The Nephilim are a whole
But are the
wide
Rephaim
variety.
descended from the Nephilim, or is it just like its own isolated species?
No. The Rephaim are descended from fallen angels and human women.
Right, which is like a hybrid with a Nephilim, then, right?
No, Nephilim are so it goes. All right, I'm going to give you.
Do it again. I wasn't really listening when you started.
Class A, fallen angels. Class B, Nephilim. But that could be like a half fallen angel, half praying mantis thing, or Dagon, half fallen angel, half fish, because the man with the fish head, or the Egyptian Sphinx thing, half fallen angel with a cat. These things were, the fallen angels were frisky. They were getting it on with insects. They were getting it on with animals. They were getting it on with humans. They were getting it on with anything that had a hole that they could inseminate with the angelic sperm. Obviously, I'm guessing a little bit. I think angels can be milked. Right?
I got nipples, Greg.
Yeah.
Can you milk me?
But what was that, Anchorman or something?
Meet the Fockers.
All right. But Rephaim are the products, is the actual term for giants. So I just want to clear that up for Chad and the
I thought
viewers.
the Book of Enoch said the Nephilim were like fallen angels that were breeding with humans. And then part of the reason for the flood was to wipe out this inbreeding bullshit.
You know what we should play since we got onto the whole God's judgment and everything?
Sure.
You want to play clip 106? This is an epic new rant from Alex. This is epic.
They're hauling you up by a chain to butcher your ass and eat you.
Yeah, that's Darren McBreen right there.
I mean, that's a pretty good depiction of the nuclear apocalypse. Thank you, Listen to Pito, for the $5 super chat. Chase, can't wait to watch you destroy in that debate last week.
Oh, my God. You're fucking going to love it. I was on fire.
And Bak, any advice for those on a retention journey? Yeah, just crank one out, bro. Ain't no.
Did you give in?
No. I mean, not really, but
not really.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about this.
You fucking gave up on your semen retention? You
No.
busted in Jim's house?
But you don't retain semen when you're on a semen retention journey.
You're busting in your sleep?
Yeah, it ends up coming out anyways. Doesn't matter. We're not going to get it.
That's so gross.
You're going to end up peeing out some of that.
Ugh.
So that's what happens when you retain too long and when nuclear war happens. You get hauled up by your neighbor on a chain, 160 IQ, work the golf course, that doctor, that sweet little surgeon.
So have we decided whether or not the moon is artificial?
No, I haven't made that.
What do
that
you
decision.
think?
Why does it matter? I think
I'm fascinated.
I think we should go to the moon and mine it for helium-3.
Is China actually doing that, or is that just something we say China does?
I mean, to be honest with you, I would imagine most spacefaring nations have bases throughout the solar system and probably have some sort of asteroid mining, black ops, some sort of moon program where if they can bring things there and they send instruments and shuttles back, you don't think that they're picking up anything along.
So that guest, I listened to that, oh gosh, it's probably been over a year ago now, was talking for a large segment of that podcast about the Chinese mining of helium-3 on the moon, saying that it's happening and they're using it to power quantum computing.
You only need a few grams. It's such an energy-dense substance that you only need a few grams to power a country's energy needs for a year.
And it's not found anywhere on the surface of the Earth?
Or
in the Earth?
Not in quantity, no. You can synthesize. I don't know if that's the correct term for helium-3.
You can create helium-3?
Yeah, but it's extremely energy intensive.
Okay.
So you would never. There's no net energy gain really.
So you have to find it already made.
Yeah, you have to find it already made. You have to mine it. But if you can get kilos of helium-3, you can power the whole Earth's energy needs.
So why does the moon have helium-3?
I don't know. I've never been there.
If you're merging, the helium-3 capabilities with the artificial moon theory, maybe helium-3 was used to power the construction of the Death Star. You know what I mean? And that's why it's there. I'm convinced that we have bases, that China has bases on the dark side of the moon. I'm convinced.
I mean, there's a reason India's late to the game, but they crashed their moon probe, 2013, and then they found existence of frozen water, which we had already known this, assuming our moon program was real. So if India, with the population it has, and it's making leaps and bounds in its technological prowess right now. Obviously, we're trying to get all the we're trying to brain drain them via H-1B visa. So if they're late to the game and they found the existence of this ice water on the dark side of the moon, we've known about it for decades.
Okay, so according to Grok, which is a direct refutation of what we just saw on the Sean Ryan podcast, no, China is not currently mining helium-3 from the moon. It has detected traces of it in returned lunar samples and has long-term interest/plans for lunar resource utilization, including helium-3, but there's no confirmed active mining, extraction, or return of meaningful quantities. Now, just because Grok says this doesn't mean it's not true. It's probably highly classified. They probably don't release the numbers in which they're doing this because of the national security implications. But helium-3 is a rare isotope implanted in lunar regolith by the solar wind. Concentrations are very low, typically a few to around 20 plus parts per billion. China has studied it in samples from Chang's 5 near side 2020 and Chang's 6 far side 2024. Apparently these are locations on the moon. Identified related minerals and publicly discussed its potential as a future fusion fuel or for other high value uses. Official Chinese statements and research emphasize prospecting, resource assessment, and eventual extraction as part of a broader lunar plan Claims that China has already begun mining, sometimes circulating from secondary commentary, lack open source or official confirmation, and are treated as unverified. So that's like what we just saw from Sean Ryan's podcast. Actual industrial scale extraction would require processing enormous volumes of regolith and is not underway with current small landers/rovers. China does not fly regular or frequent trips to the moon. Its lunar program, Chang'e series under CNSA, is a series of discrete robotic missions spaced years apart, not an annual cadence. There have been no manned crew lunar missions yet. The first crewed Chinese lunar landing is officially targeted before 2030, with related hardware tests underway, but no flight to the moon so far. So did a 2007, a 2010, a 2013 with a rover, 2018 and 19, a 2020, a 2024, and a far-side sample return in 2024 returned 1.9 kilograms of material. I bet you that was helium-3.
Thank you, Anastasia Beaverhausen, for the $5 super chat. Keep up the good work, boys. And for those of you that returned to the stream, thank you for coming back.
So, anyway, I bet you we're both mining shit from the moon and we're lying about it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, bro, you think we have SpaceX merging with XAI and Elon being rolled out and being given all these government subsidies for absolutely no reason?
What do you think happened with the Challenger? Do you think it actually blew up? Like, accidentally?
I don't know. NASA's an intelligence and a propaganda agency. So I actually do think, like, remember the Artemis II mission, all the inconsistencies? They were finding people that were actually actors that were being...
No, I don't remember that. Tell me about that.
The people who manned the Artemis II, one of them was found to be an actor. I think she was in, like, the Fury Road movie or something.
When was the Artemis II?
Like March.
That was the SpaceX flight?
Yeah, I think SpaceX wasn't working in conjunction with NASA for that. And then there's just so many inconsistencies. I don't know if I'm reading from some of the conspiracy theories that I've been coming across, but it has a shit ton of
here's some Artemis II footage of the moon, allegedly. From an iPhone. There's the Earth on the other side. That's allegedly iPhone footage of the moon.
Wow, what's the Saturn behind it?
What do you think?
Wow. I mean, it could... I believe two things happen when we go into space. That they have a planned propaganda campaign that they feed you for public consumption, and then they really are going up there and doing some other shit. It's like, why does NASA kill a stream when you start seeing UFOs in it? A live stream.
They do that?
Yeah, they've done that. They've gotten caught doing that a bunch of times. Like, they'll have a stream of, like, some sort of solar event or something going on, then they'll zoom it into Earth. They'll zoom the feed into Earth, and then something weird that's not supposed to be there, and they'll be, oh, technical glitches, and then they'll cut the live stream. So I think the more sophisticated approach to this is, yes, there is a breakaway parallel civilization. Yes, we really do go out to space and run all sorts of clandestine black ops operations, but they also have a set. They also have people working from Hollywood helping them do production, and they feed you some bullshit. And it's both things happening. Two things can be true at once.
Passing of yet foot, leaving behind his
but to
car,
see it just like
wallet,
boom,
phone, and
boom,
keys.
boom. You know what I mean?
Casillas, age 54, was last.
And the Trump administration comes out and says there's nothing to it.
Well, thank you, Mr. C, USA Patriot, for the $5 super chat. Space isn't fake and gay. The information they gave us about space is fake and gay. We've been there for years. Been to Mars too. Totally agree.
We think we sent humans to Mars?
Yes, we've sent all manner of stuff. If Elon's proposing it, they're already doing it. And listen to Pito with his super chat. Fuck space. Just show us what's in Antarctica.
Watch this.
There's all these missing scientists who had access to classified material. A bunch of them have turned up they're either missing or they have turned up dead. Have you been briefed yet about whether or not these cases are connected?
Yeah, I have.
And can you tell us if they are connected?
Well, so far, I mean, they're individual. We have a lot of scientists. So when you see, you put together 10.
You're seeing classification at work here.
Small.
He has to lie to you.
Yes.
Compared to what overall, we have a lot of scientists. I was asking that question. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of scientists. So, no, some of them that we looked at are very sad cases in some cases. Some were sick. Some left this earth self-inflicted. Some had other things. So far, there's not a major, sometimes there's a little bit of a connection anyway, and you say, oh, this is
So he denies that there's any meaningful connection.
Yeah, you're never going to get the truth from...
a bunch of scientists that worked in the same office all killed themselves within 2 years of each other? No connection? Even if they actually killed themselves, what did they know that was troubling them or haunting them so much that caused them to want to kill themselves?
I mean, let's be honest here. You really think people that have a cushy job like that have purpose in their life, that are very important people to the government and to society, just go off and kill themselves?
Yeah, and I love how in the obituary they throw in, hey, please make donations in lieu of flowers to Al-Anon, just implying that he fucking drank himself to death.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
No, of course.
If my obituary says to make contributions to Al-Anon, I assure you, the government killed me. And I hope my wife goes on stage amid pyrotechnics in response. Within 7 days. Glitter pants, fucking advertising that EKP. All right, what do you want to hit next, Bak?
We can. I had two clips, but we've already pivoted off the war stuff. One of them was very peculiar, but we can do that another time. Since we're on the technology and stuff, let's hit clip 110. So what we're hitting now, we thought the first robotic wave rollout was going to be humanoid robots, completely synthetic, completely technological manufactured parts, for better lack of a term. What we're actually seeing now is they're skipping over the first phase and they're combining organic components with robotics. So if we queue up the next few clips I have there, this kind of explains the whole wave. They're just skipping over part one with Tesla's robots. Obviously, you're going to see that. That's what's being deployed. But they're going right to phase two, computational processors. And they're just going, technology's going full circle and realizing what God created was perfect. I think something like your brain only has 64 gigabytes of capacity for thinking capacity, but you can bring it anywhere. It's totally portable. The processing power, what powers your brain capacity is calories. So it's very cheap. It's not all these gigawatts of electricity. So they're finding out God's creation is perfect, and then they're now using it in their blueprints and meshing it with their technology. So where you've seen that by now, the Chinese company coming out with their Neuralink interface. Neuralink's been heavily being fed to the public. Like, hey, this is, Elon's about to debut. You can do all these things. We can fix paraplegics. We can do all these great wonders with it. You're seeing the age of human technology interface. So it's biorobotics, essentially. That is what the future is going to look like. If we play clip 113.
2 years, I don't get into aliens.
They scanned all the books.
So,
yeah. And they're destroying all the books.
7 years ago, no one was thinking AI.
Yeah. It's fucking wild. We lost.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say we lost. We
lost that battle.
Yeah, it'd be like a castle. So they stormed the castle. But now you're going to the inner sanctum.
If they truly develop this hive mind and they merge, biology with cybernetics or whatever the fuck, and they're able to mine such massive swaths of data in such rapid speed, that's the crystal ball. And if you can do this Minority Report bullshit where you predict the future because you have such powerful data analysis, it's true. You can change the future. If you see, all right, if I do this, this is what happens. If I do this, this is what happens. This is a huge national security thing where they can actually play out using data exactly what's going to happen if we bomb this, if we bomb that. Obviously, they don't have that technology yet, or if they do have that technology, they're not giving it to the president of the United States because he's incessantly bombing and claiming that the war is over and over again without it actually being true, right? Something that the president of the United States wouldn't do if he genuinely had a crystal ball. But I do believe...
What is Palantir?
I do, yes, exactly. It's literally a crystal ball.
That's a wizard's...
Yeah. People are like, oh, you're exaggerating the extent to which Palantir is controlling anything. And that's such fucking horseshit, dude. Like over 51% of all Palantir's income is from fucking Department of Defense contracts. DOD contracts. I mean, you go from Metabiota to Palantir to whatever the fuck, dude. It's all DOD bullshit, and it's all about intelligence. And what's even better than knowing everything happening now? It's knowing everything happening next. That's why InfoWars is famous. Tomorrow's news today. My show on InfoWars was tomorrow's news tonight. It's the whole idea of, hey, while other networks lie to you about what's happening now, InfoWars tells you the truth about what's happening next. Alex Jones Live tells you the truth about what's happening next. This show tells you the truth about what's happening next. That's what the goal of the intelligence community is. It's not just knowing everything happening now and knowing plans for the future, but actually knowing what the future is. And it's all based off of this technocratic philosophy that human beings don't even have free will. We've heard about the debates between the technocrats where they'll accuse people who favor humans over artificial intelligence of being speciest. This is something that Elon Musk has been called in debates at rich people's ski resorts by other technocrats, right? Oh, he said I was speciest, right? And it's this idea that everything in the universe is materialistic. It comes straight from Aristotle, the immovable mover. Everything is the cause and effect. There's not really any free will. Free will is a divine thing. We don't believe in God, therefore we don't believe in free will. Everybody does everything in this Pavlovian way based off of reward and punishment, cause and effect. You wipe your ass because your ass is dirty, not because you chose to wipe your ass. And then you just take that concept and you expand it to every micro decision and every macro decision. And these materialistic, utilitarian, Machiavellian, technocratic, national security apparatus cucks do not believe that we have free will. And therefore, it is not a transgression to manipulate the behavior of human beings, but also possible from a materialistic standpoint without the aid, assistance, or divine miracle of God intervention to predict everything that will happen if you are able to do the informatics. And what is informatics? Informatics is the process of mining useful information from unlimited swaths of data. And that's what they're trying to do with these data centers. They're trying to mine all data simultaneously, use it to predict the future, and then manipulate the input or the stimulus, like Alex Jones said right there, so they can determine the future. And what future do they want? They want a future in which they have control, they can never lose it, and everyone on the face of the earth is subjugated to a political class. And that's why the future is fucking populist.
And, well, it can't be discounted, too. The people in charge and pushing us in this direction are all occultists. What is Palantir? It's a wizard's orb. It's a crystal ball. What is Apple?
They're not all accounted for.
The forbidden knowledge. What is Meta? It's all-encompassing everything. What is Google? Infinite. An infinite loop. It's the Ouroboros within itself. Self-reinforcing, self-feeding. So the very naming of these companies, these big tech companies, and these big think tanks and groups, they're telling you and fulfilling the laws of lesser magic in the very name of the companies themselves most of the time. I'm going to take this time to read these super chats. Thank you, Listen to Pito. Night emissions are involuntary. I will not crank one out. I believe in you, Bak. I believe in you too, Pito. Keep it in your bag. Pito, thank you once again. Oh, nope, I already read this. BMS 1411, thank you. A little light this week in Trumpstein's golden age. And thank you, Mr. C, USA Patriot. Total bioweapons. Now it's even in the flu shot. I did want to hit one more clip off that robot.
First.
Are you playing the Gandalf clip?
I have seen it.
Bro, how many copyright violations are we going to get?
Dangerous tool, Saruman. Why? Why should we fear to use it?
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Can we hit? There's a whole new classification of robotics. They're called Necrobots. Clip 113.
When mechanical engineering graduate student Faye Yap saw a dead spider curled up in the hallway, it got her thinking about whether it could be used as a robotics component. Turning dead spiders into mechanical grippers.
Okay, so they put some shit in the spider's brain and they can control the fucking spider. Is that what it's about?
That's one, but this is a spliced clip. They're actually using these, if we go to this clip right here.
Outside the box, way outside the box. It's funding tests to see if these giant Madagascar-hissing cockroaches
yeah, well, these are actually being used in Ukraine right now.
To miniature battlefield assets.
Yeah.
This is a left turn, and this is a right turn.
Stefan Wilhelm's year-old startup.
Well, they're using those.
I get it, but come on, this motherfucker's. Look, I can make the cockroach turn.
Dude, they're already using this to go up and down pipes through rubbles. This is the next generation spy. They're not even, you know how they can make robotic insects?
Yeah.
They're not even deploying those en masse. They're now using, they're not
just
hijacking right into God's design.
They're kidnapping the fucking cockroaches. They're manipulating their minds, and they're endangering the species.
Yeah. And then they have they've stolen proboscises off of mosquitoes because the nozzle of the proboscis is finer and thinner than any nozzle that they can use to 3D print. So this is the future of robotics. It's Biobots, essentially Necrobots. Thank you, Brittany Dishong, for the $20 super chat. Very, very generous. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, what next, Bak? I mean, shit, we've covered the moon being artificial. We've covered the technocratic artificial intelligence takeover and a more entertaining and profound way that most people talk about it. What else should we be talking about? What are we missing here? What's the fundamental thing? What's the deal with the fucking cryptids? Is the end of the world happening? Give me something good. Give me something I haven't heard before. Give me something worthy of the Y-Files.
Worthy of the Y-Files?
Yeah, something fucking interesting. Other than Karoline Leavitt Resigns, which was my idea.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm not blaming you.
No, of course. I had nothing to do
I'm
with
just saying that's the hook. We're going to cover the news, right? But nothing's really happening other than the catalysm of the end of the world.
I mean, if we're going to go into the meta, we would have to use Darvis. If we're going to go into, like, I think a big news...
I just know, Bak, because I've talked to you off air. Do you know crazy fucking shit? Like, I want to tap into the part of you, Bak, that knows the term Adamic DNA. Like, what else do you fucking know, dude?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You're like, I'm just fucking with him. Jesus, I forgot that he watched. Never would have made fun of him if I knew he was
busted
listening.
my on-air nut with the Biobots.
You got so many nuts to bust, dude. You've been on the semen retention plan for months. You have so many fucking nuts. It's not just Biobots. I'm talking Atlantis. I'm talking artificial moon. I'm talking fucking Nephilim shit. I want to get into the fucking weeds, dude. Have aliens actually visited? Interdimensional beings, battle between good and evil. What are demons? Is hell real? Do we go there?
We fucking, it's just so overwhelming. I don't, like, if that's such meta level shit, I wasn't prepared for you to hit me with that right now.
It's better if you don't prepare. What did you first discover the first time you took LSD?
I mean, the first time I smoked salvia, I was on an assembly line, like at the Ford plant, and literally the Ford.
You were actually at the Ford plant on salvia?
I was on an assembly.
You were working?
I was a product on the assembly line, and then the logo for a Pringles can with the mustache and the dude with the white face. Yeah. He was stamping everything, but that's
what
not
does that
reality.
mean?
I think that means that. I don't know. It doesn't mean shit. It just means I should have never smoked salvia.
I just don't want to talk about El Nino. We already talked about that. UK to ration food. Okay, whatever. Leprosy, flesh-eating bacteria. You always have a portion of the show about
leprosy.
fucking
Leprosy
diseases.
has made a resurgence.
Trump plans emergency to win?
Yeah.
Let's watch this. What the fuck is this?
If they never get the Save America Act done, you have the right to declare a national security emergency for elections. And the Supreme Court ruled in 1983 under Reagan that INS versus Chadha, that if you declare a national security emergency as the President of the United States, they can't challenge it. It can only be overturned by a 2/3 vote of both houses of Congress. So if you do this in the next month, we will get photo ID, proof of citizenship, and a limit to mail-in ballots, and you don't even need the Senate vote.
Okay, I'll leave it at that.
All right, we'll leave it at that.
So he did propose a way to get the SAVE Act in. It's to declare a national state of emergency and that you need to provide proof of citizenship.
Jiang has been insisting that Trump's going to have a third term. Now, it could just be CCP propaganda, because I do believe the guy's influenced and working for the CCP, at least in some capacity. And not all feds are feds all the time. Right? A lot of times, an intelligence asset, only 10% of what they say is actually an intelligence objective. And I don't know the extent to which Jiang is a CCP asset, but I'm 99.9% sure that he is one in some capacity. And I think that there is an effort from the CCP to undermine the perception of the integrity of our republic by having someone like Jiang come out and make viral content. I mean, I saw the same video from Jiang today say that Trump is going to have a third term as a prediction. The same video from 3 different accounts within 10 swipes on Reels. So obviously the algorithm's pushing it. It seems to be gamified a little bit. Somebody wants us to believe or wonder or think that Trump might actually go for a third term. And I believe it's supposed to make people lose faith in our republic and its integrity and its ability to prevent an authoritarian or a dictator from taking over.
And showing a dictatorship similar to what China has, too.
Exactly.
Well, one interesting thing real quick. I actually think you're right, and I've been leaning towards your theory because you're not allowed YouTube access in China.
Right.
But he travels to Beijing all the time to be with his family. He lives in Canada, too. And he streams from Beijing on his YouTube channel. How the fuck is
he
that
doing
allowed
that?
if you're not allowed
Is he using
to break
a
through the
VPN?
great...
But if he was using a VPN doing that, the CCP would arrest his ass while he's in Beijing doing it, right? So he's obviously got some kind of a green light to do shit from China on platforms that aren't allowed in China for the sake of some fucking message.
Well,
and he might actually believe it. They could just be picking people that they want to push and just,
Yeah,
humping.
and they might even be allowing him a break through the Great Firewall of China too.
Yeah, he probably
this could
has
be way
some,
more sophisticated than we
He's got
know.
some sort of special dispensation from the CCP to be pushing his shit. Here's the deal, man. And I don't know if I've mentioned this before on air, but I know that I've talked about it before, at least thought about it before. There's different ways to go viral as a man. Young and handsome, like clavicular. You can go viral among young men by doing provocative manosphere content to incels like the Tates, right? I'm not knocking the Tates. I'm just saying, like, a lot of dudes that couldn't get laid that were 18 needed to hear the Tates say, hey, get a fucking Lamborghini and, stop caring about women. Then you'll get laid. Then, you know what I mean? There's angles. But if you're a middle-aged man, we've proven that the best way to go viral is to be a controversial professor. We saw it with Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson was so
I haven't even
fascinating.
thought of that,
He was
yeah.
an anomaly because he was a professor and he'd been making brilliant content for 10, 15, 20 years, uploading it quietly to a YouTube channel. Most popular professor at whatever fucking university he worked at, University of Toronto or something like that, right, in Canada. And then all of a sudden he goes hyper viral because he's got a really controversial take. I think it was on the transgender issues, whether he was going to use pronouns in Canada for the students, because Canada passed a law that professors had to use the preferred pronouns of the students, and he refused to do it. He went viral. Then everyone happened to find his entire library of brilliant content about, fascism and personality and self-improvement. Turns out he was a genius, and he always should have been famous, but he went famous because he was a professor that said fuck you to something that was hot topic, and it just caught the whole fucking drought on fire, right? And so I think the CCP said, all right, how do we get a middle-aged asset to actually go viral in the United States of America in the political influencer sphere? They said, we have to make him a professor, right? It's professor.
And he's a high school
He's
teacher.
a high school teacher. So they set him up with a whiteboard, just like Jordan Peterson when he went viral. They called him Professor Jiang instead of, Professor Peterson. And they set up the exact same thing, and they just scripted it out, dude. The dude is 100% a plan. I still think he's fascinating. I think he's probably right about a lot of things. His analysis of the Iran war and the Ukraine war, all very interesting. But this third term Trump shit, I just don't buy it. Now, would Trump do a third term if there was some legal way that he could find to do it? Probably. He seems like the type. But I could say that about the last 50 presidents that we fucking had. Well, I guess we only had 47
There's
presidents.
some signals, though.
Yeah, I mean, it could happen, but it's so difficult to pull that off.
He
dude.
said two very interesting things there that I think align with the patterns that are developing. Number one, Trump is doing the same thing Biden did, and he's pre-pardoning the blanket pardons. He's using that for everyone that's insider trading right now. And number two, I'm kind of starting to change my thesis on this. I do think Trump may not have fallen in Israeli trap, like we've been harping on when we cover the Iran war. There are moves here, and we can play one clip to support this. It's actually very interesting. I think Trump is intentionally losing the Iran war now to break the global energy order, and that the moves on Greenland...
And then we'll have a monopoly on the new form of energy, or what?
Not even that we'll have a monopoly on the new
we're
form of
wiping
anything.
out a competitor because we'll have all the Argentinian oil.
Well, this would
or
go
Venezuelan,
with
rather.
this would go with our former thesis, and he could be betrayed at any time. But I believe a deal was cut for a tripolar world order. Russia's now moving on NATO, like we were covering. China's getting ready to move on Taiwan. Maybe it wasn't even Putin and Xi that were plotting behind Trump's back with that trip to China. Maybe Trump went to go see Xi, then Putin went right after to go see Xi because the deal is in place, and there will be some cloak and dagger shit. Obviously, you want to sink some of the other competitors at the same time the deal's sunk into place. But look at the timing, dude. Like, we're moving on Greenland now. You've seen that they were sneaking in the offshore oil drilling rigs and stuff, and then Greenland's like, oh, what the fuck? We've been given full permission with the Golden Dome. We're moving all our assets in. You see full-on economic war being waged against Canada right now, and I have clips in here where it's in Canadian media. Once again, they're preparing for a U.S. invasion. If you watched Fallout, remember the rules of lesser magic? What happens in Fallout?
Fallout, like the series?
The Fallout, the series. If you looked at the opening credits and stuff, they show that U.S. moved in militarily and annexed Canada.
Yeah.
In the opening,
well,
it's
and,
in
and
the
the whole
graphics.
theme of Fallout is that they intentionally engineered a nuclear threat in order to sell bunkers.
Exactly, and what is one of the main themes of Fallout?
It's a breakaway civilization.
Breakaway civilization, human brain interface. Remember the brains encased in the things that they're now showing. And if we know anything about the media, they show it in the media 5 to 10 years out before they actually pull the trigger on the event.
Predictive, prescriptive programming.
And can we play clip 104?
Yeah, just give me 1 second.
Yep.
Klaus Schwab, prescriptive programming. You said 104?
Yeah.
Okay.
At the start of the Iran war, the United States had 2 carrier groups in the region. One of them had multiple difficulties, including the underwear section of the ship catching fire. That's the Gerald Ford, as well as people accidentally flushing socks and T-shirts.
So remember when there was a full-on mutiny on the Gerald Ford?
So the Gerald Ford carrier
mutiny
group had
on the
to
carrier?
retreat
Yeah, dude, they were flushing and clogging the toilets so the sanitation system would work. The Gerald Ford had to turn around. Now look
why
at
did they do that?
Because they didn't want to go to Iran.
Which cost us, I think,
so
soldiers did the mutiny?
Yes,
I didn't know that.
It's happening on the Abraham Lincoln right now.
$300,000.
Wait, hold on a second. I remember the massive flooding on the Gerald Ford. I remember the viral clips of the water all over the fucking...
Yes.
But it was pitched, at least initially, as like a malfunction of the boat, right?
They sent it out anyways, but they had to turn around and repair all that.
Right.
Now it's happening on the
Dude,
Lincoln.
You're getting ahead of me. It was discovered or determined that it was a mutiny?
What is that? When the sailors...
Or is that something that we've just like interpreted? Like, was it actually was there anybody that was sent to the brig? Was there anybody that was brought up under...
So this clip right now, if the same thing's happening on the Lincoln, we'll play.
It's having plumbing issues because they're flushing their underwear and their fucking socks down the toilet.
That's a form of mutiny, dude. You were assigned
They're doing it on
orders.
purpose. It was on purposely.
How else? Oh, my wool socks went down the shitter. I'm sorry.
And they can't really determine who did it.
Yeah. But now on the Abraham Lincoln, there's a mental health crisis, and the U.S. media is blacking this out, and sailors are jumping overboard
just to stop the boat. You can get caught up in the propellers doing that. You can fucking die doing that.
Yes. So that's what that clip was showing, was that they've been they're doing 2 tours back to back.
You sure that's not some like voice to skull shit?
I don't know.
Like
what
we'll
the
make them
hell's...
jump. Like who jumps off a fucking aircraft carrier, dude? I'd rather go to war.
Multiple sailors that have tried to commit suicide. There's an ongoing mental health crisis on the USS Abraham Lincoln right now because they haven't been relieved. They're in the Persian Gulf, I believe. That whole area, they were supposed to rotate out, but they haven't, and they're running low on their supplies, and sailors are now jumping overboard and trying to commit suicide.
Why?
Because there was supposed to be, there's a certain amount of time at sea.
Oh,
and then there's supposed to be a
long?
rotation. But because of the Iran war, we're going on 180 days now. Now you have, like, you know when you have
dudes that are just sick of being on that fucking boat.
Dude, you have commissary. You're supposed to be able to go and spend your pay to get the little goodies and the little treats.
They haven't
want
been
a
resupplied.
Snickers bar. There's been no resupply in the commissary.
So it's just fucking eggs every day, powdered eggs every day.
There's been sailors that have been trying to pull the same shit that happened on the Gerald Ford, and then it's not working out because obviously I'm sure that they have patrols. I'm sure that they have people guarding it now because they don't want the same actions happening again. And now sailors are now jumping overboard.
Can't you be executed for mutiny?
Yeah.
So these dudes would rather risk being executed for sabotaging a mission than go to war.
Yeah. And then that clip was saying that there's a complete blackout now. It's obviously hitting the media now. But they're saying that the sanitation conditions are poor. They're saying that
obviously, if they're clogging up all the plumbing, it's all fucked up.
The bunking conditions for I don't know exactly how a carrier ship, like what the sleeping arrangements are. But they're saying that shit's breaking down on the boat, that they're running out of comfort foods, that they're running out of a lot of things a commissary would normally have. Sailors are now jumping overboard and trying to commit suicide, and that there's a full-on mental health crisis, and everyone's watching everyone now.
That's fucking wild, man. Here's Klaus Schwab, by the way. This one I want to play a minute ago.
Insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack. To use the COVID-19 crisis as a timely opportunity.
It's actually a different clip than I had intended, but it's still prescient because in another clip, Klaus Schwab came out with the notion of prescriptive programming rather than just predictive. And this ties in directly to the hive mind stuff that we were talking about with artificial intelligence, where the objective is not just to predict the future, but prescribe the future, the prescriptive programming. And with the informatics, hive mind, artificial intelligence, massive data centers merged with neurological, biological design, I just don't want the fucking future prescribed by the Klaus Schwabs of the world. That's it. I don't want people jumping off aircraft carriers.
Yeah, I mean, how could you have that much malfeasance? How could you be that stupid? Like that you would strain a whole naval asset that costs $5-10 billion to build when you know that there's a natural troop rotation. There's a natural rotation of your ships in and out of the Gulf. Like, you wouldn't sustain a bombing campaign. You wouldn't run to where our munitions run this low. You wouldn't drain the strategic petroleum reserve to this level.
The soldiers intentionally did that to the Gerald Ford.
Yeah.
Multiple sailors
Love you all.
aboard the
Here's
USS
$4.99.
Abraham Lincoln
Thank you.
tried to jump overboard amid poor conditions and mental stress on the ship. This is according to new reporting from the Military Times, which spoke to the wife of one of those sailors, who says she's spoken to her husband only a handful of times since he tried to jump. He is now on a medical hold. The Military Times is also reporting severe food shortages on board and that sailors are running out of just basic needs: toothpaste, deodorant, soap. This crew has been at sea for 9 months.
9
Trump's war
fucking
in
months.
Iran. That includes 250 consecutive days without setting foot on land. 250 consecutive days. That is a record. Out front now, Natalie Olivero. She is the Military Times journalist who broke
Holy
the story.
shit, she looks
and
like she was made in a
also
factory.
Navy veteran.
Jesus
Natalie,
Christ.
I appreciate
Yeah,
your
but you
time.
would.
I mean, the details you have.
We got, I mean, it's fine. No, I wouldn't. We got 5 minutes of this clip. We're not going to play the whole thing. That's
No,
the
of
point.
course not.
Just more verification. What the hell, dude? Hold on. There's even more here. USS Abraham Lincoln rocked by bloodshed. 7 U.S. Navy personnel killed. Several injured in crew clash. What the hell is this?
Bro, why do you think I was trying to get on the Abraham Lincoln news so much? I'm like, this isn't boring, Chase. This is like, there's a
7
mutiny
dead
happening.
aboard the USS Lincoln. Shocking claim. I got one. Bloody clash alleged aboard USS Lincoln as crew tensions boil. Apparently, there's violence within the crew.
Yes.
There's murder.
A lot of intrigue.
USS Lincoln faces deadly clash claim amid growing crew discontent. So it's probably violence against superiors.
7 dead aboard a U.S. aircraft carrier? Iran is making a stunning claim about the USS Abraham Lincoln, alleging a violent clash erupted among the crew. The explosive claim originated with Iranian state-linked outlets,
So you gotta take it with a grain of salt.
and Mer, which
Yeah, but
cited
this is AP.
unnamed sources. According to
Or
those
AFP, I guess.
reports,
I don't even know.
growing anger over the carrier's
India's
prolonged
version.
deployment
Really?
and alleged
Says
poor
one
living
India.
conditions boiled over into a violent confrontation. The reports claim a U.S. military official boarded the USS Abraham Lincoln to address complaints from the crew. During the alleged speech, sailors supposedly booed and protested, with some reports claiming bottles were thrown. The situation
Wild. Okay.
So
I get
this
it.
would be the second naval asset with a potential mutiny on its hands. Think of the stress. Think of the duress you're under, dude. These guys, you know, and think of how soft people are today, too.
Unbelievable.
Thank you, Mr. C, USA Patriot, for the $20 super chat. So here's one for you. There's something under the mess at Skinwalker Ranch that is saucer-shaped, and when they drill into it, the diamond bits bounce off. The ceramic material they found is magnetic and self-healing. What the fuck? Thank you, Pure Healer, for the super chat. Y'all think space is real? We are stuck here, bitches. Operation Fishbowl. I think you'd be talking about the Operation Castle Rock, where we exploded the 500 hydrogen bombs in the atmosphere. Remember we discussed that before?
Mm-hmm.
So whether you think we can get past the Van Allen space belt with the radiation, I mean, if that would kind of lend credence that there's a firmament and that we had to blast our way out of that bitch like Duke Nukem. Oh, yeah. And that we probably did. And that it wasn't your hairspray that led to the depletion of the ozone layer. It was actually the 500 hydrogen bombs and missiles that we exploded in the atmosphere.
Holy shit.
Right?
Winter's closing in on us pretty fast, and that means we'll need to shut things down soon. The experiments we've done this year have given us unbelievable data that suggests we may have
We watched some of this before,
where
didn't
some
we?
of the crazy
I think so,
phenomena
yeah.
that
All
we
right.
encounter on Skinwalker Ranch.
This is
is coming
Skinwalker
from.
Ranch guy?
Yeah.
A giant bubble-like anomaly that covers a huge area of the ranch, including both the triangle
Yeah, they try to fly
and
drones
the
through
mesa.
it. Yeah, we've covered the Skinwalker. I just wanted to honor the super chat.
No, of course. Mr. C, USA Patriot, thank you for the additional super chat. Well, that carrier is packed full of semen.
Yeah, it's semen retention, bro. 9 months.
Yep, like these nuts. And Leroy has one complaint. Thank you for the super chat. You guys will have more views if you can keep the ads down. I swear I'm getting an ad every 5 minutes or less. And I told him when you're monetized, that's not up to you.
Yeah, that's YouTube.
That's YouTube. But I mean, that's a sign that hopefully we're not shadow
Yeah,
banned.
if you have that problem with our stream, you get that problem with every stream.
Sorry, Leroy. Can we play that clip about the Canadian media preparing for a U.S. invasion? Clip 107?
Sure.
Nearly 30,000 Canadians have signed an online petition calling for
Oh,
Pete
no.
Hoekstra,
So-
U.S. ambassador to Canada, to be kicked out of the country.
No, it's all right.
The
We can play.
something?
Yeah, so that clip, sorry, that clip, Canadians have signed a petition online to expel the U.S. ambassador to Canada.
Sure.
So that has...
But who gives a fuck about what petition the Canadians sign?
Well,
it's just like the random Canadian people, like, fuck U.S., we're going to sign it. That doesn't mean anything's going to happen.
No. We're game. This is my time now. This is game theory time. Okay? What does Canada have? It has the rare earths we need.
Yeah. Congress fucking signed Congress decided to hold Fauci in contempt. Is he going to go to prison? Canada signed a petition to remove the United States ambassador. Is he going to get removed?
No, but it shows you what direction things are pointing. Things are going to show up in the politisphere, and things are going to show up in social discourse before they show up in kinetic action.
I'll show you some social discourse.
So you see us, we're moving on Greenland right now. That's happening. They've already signed off on us building Golden Dome. Alberta is set to vote on secession from the country of Canada itself, not just the government, not just politically. But Alberta has all the shale resources. Alberta has a lot of the rare earths. Alberta is the wheat belt for Canada. So if we wanted to annex any part of Canada, it would start with Alberta. So you see the political tensions boiling up right now. They don't even want to have diplomatic ties if they want to expel the ambassador. I want to clip 108 if we can play that.
Hold on, I want to play this first.
Yep.
Now, when we discuss integrated capabilities of this magnitude, there are always skeptics. There are always those who call this
This is
science
U.S.
fiction.
Space Force.
Let me assure you, this is not science fiction. This is achievable, an all-American effort. Throughout our history, the United States has taken the most complex challenges and woven the solutions into the fabric of our identity. Look at NASA's Artemis mission last week. NASA changed the entire space exploration equation by sheer ingenuity. Golden Dome will push those same boundaries here on Earth. The foundational technology exists. It builds upon proven systems and integrates them into a defense that is resilient, fiscally responsible, and infinitely scalable. So the most important message I can deliver to you today is Golden Dome is real. It is no longer theoretical. We are underway, we are shovel ready, and we are building it right now. It is reality.
What the fuck is that? The Gluck Gluck 5000?
Yeah, and we got Trump. I'm not going to play it because it's 2 minutes of Trump talking in fucking White House. But he did verify that Golden Dome, Greenland's essential for the Golden Dome. So
Yeah, they've already given us the okay.
What clip did you want me to play?
Clip 108. This has been floating around in Canadian media.
Reporting from the Globe and Mail this week reveals that Canada's military has reportedly been modeling a hypothetical U.S. invasion of our country. And while the scenario is unlikely and theoretical, it says planners within the Canadian Armed Forces see it as a necessary stress test of national security.
I'll show you the stress test.
What could that
Bend
modeling
over.
look like? Joining us now is Christian Leubrecht, a military expert and professor at the Royal Military College and Queen's University. Christian, great to have you back on the show.
Hello, my pleasure.
All right, so if Canada were to face an invasion, Christian, how well equipped are we to respond to an attack and defend ourselves?
Well, so look, I mean,
the Canadian Armed Forces are pretty significantly undercapitalized, understaffed, and underfunded.
Would you let him watch your kids?
No. And have been for the last 25 or so
I'll show you
years.
understaffed.
So we're not in a position to defend ourselves against an invasion, let alone by the largest military in the world. But
so this is happening. My Christmas.
It's happening.
My Christmas wish is happening. We're going to annex Canada, and it's going to start in Alberta. And there was a plan called War Plan Red, which was a real U.S. military plan right before World War II broke off, and it was made in 1930 and updated in 1934, where U.S. war planners were going to go into Nova Scotia, Montreal, British Columbia, Ottawa, and take over Canada. And if they had to, they were going to use mustard gas and poison gas.
I love that.
And the plan is not even 100 years old.
It's a good start.
It's a great start.
Yeah, it's the first win. But that we can claim to be completely original, which excites me, which puts me in the zone of winning. I'm by winning. I win here and I win there. Now what? Let's just do it. Let's meet this thing head on. And you were in it to win it. Talk about an education. And then like this, and then that's the guy, and he's our dad, and we can get all the answers and the truth. Wow, winning. It's how you perceive it. Just retired because I'm done. I'm not very good at it, and they keep winning and building bigger houses than mine, defeating the naysayers. You're either winning or you're losing. There's nothing in between.
How do you plan on winning that war?
With zeal and focus and violent hatred. You finally just go, yeah. You know, good luck. You're gonna need it. I'm gonna be over here, like winning.
It's literally
come Wednesday
Trump
morning
on the war in Iran.
Charlie Brothers, not Warner Brothers.
Charlie Sheen impersonates Trump.
Winning.
Winning in what sense?
Just winning, just being
Because
happy.
some would say that you're defeated now.
They can say that, but what kind of car are they driving? What kind of girls are in their home?
You just imagine Trump saying this about Iran. It makes
I'm gonna
perfect
live my
sense.
life the way I want. I'm gonna win inside of every moment, and they can just find the most comfortable.
All right. Anyway.
I don't like Charlie Sheen.
I like him.
He definitely...
We've talked about this. I changed your mind about it. You changed your mind back already?
Yeah. What about Corey Felder?
Corey Feldman?
Feldman. Whatever.
Corey Feldman's a lunatic, dude.
Yeah. Charlie Sheen isn't a lunatic?
Not anymore.
He has a history of past homosexuality, drug abuse, is very close friends with all these Hollywood elite pedophiles, and maintained the friendships after they got caught.
I don't think he's a pedophile.
The only good thing Charlie Sheen's ever done was become an advocate for 9/11 truth.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. And oh no, I forgot Charlie. Top Gun was great.
He wasn't in Top Gun.
He was in the first Top Gun.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was.
It's Tom Cruise and fucking
Well, if he wasn't in Top Gun, then fuck him.
No, he was in Platoon.
Okay, I bring him back. Platoon was great.
Yeah.
I liked Platoon.
He was in Red Dawn.
Yeah, that was another great one.
I think he was in The Outsiders.
That was all right.
They made everybody watch that in 8th grade.
Yeah, but pretty much I'm pretty pumped because we're going to take over the western half of Canada and move on Greenland.
We're never going to annex Canada. We'll just make a deal with them.
Trade wars always precede real wars. Wouldn't history tell you that? Aren't we in an economic trade war with Canada right now?
I don't think so.
Yeah, we are.
No.
We're heavily tariffing them. We tore up the USMC, the trade deal with United States, Mexico, and Canada. We're not renewing that. We've tariffed them. You saw Doug Ford, who loves doing cocaine, talking about how he's going to withhold electricity. Then Trump said, you better not do that, dude. You better not, because daddy's coming home.
Daddy's coming home.
We will be switching over to the members portion of the stream in about 5 minutes, correct?
Yeah, it's automatically going to happen.
Yep,
Already
and
scheduled.
taking speakers, so prepare for that,
Yeah,
guys.
you better request if you want to speak. And by the way, Maze, if you're listening, I did invite you to co-host. You better accept, you devil woman, you. I saw you with your messy hair. I know you're wild today. I know you're down for a show. I know you're ready to rock and roll. I know you're taking calls and breaking balls, snapping necks and cashing checks. I know you got it, Maze. I know you got it. I know you have what it takes. Maze.
To hit one thing on the domestic politics, you see that Francesca Hong lost, the DSA candidate in Wisconsin. Remember Loomer fan club kept harping on her? Yeah. So she actually lost, dude, and Hasan had a meltdown. And Alex played
I'm telling you, dude, this Islamic communist takeover of the Democratic Party is hugely massively exaggerated by the establishment GOP to try to scare people into voting for fucking shitty Republicans.
Oh, 100%.
It's total fucking horseshit.
But it was worth it seeing Hasan Piker have a meltdown.
Piker?
Yeah.
I hardly know her.
He said,
do we have the clip?
What, of the meltdown?
Yeah. What was the name of the bitch?
Francesca Hong, yeah. Francesca.
I'm inviting her to co-host again. All right. Hasan's inspiring speech after Francesca Hong loses. Okay. We're going to watch this. Hold on a second.
Thank you, P0 Info Warrior, for the super chat. Game Theory, Motherfucker, and Platoon.
There's a YouTube, or there's a X account called DSA Watch, which I guess is the equivalent to Right Wing Watch.
I have no idea about that.
Yeah. Hold on. It's trying to play the 6-minute version. I want to play the fucking 32-second version. Come on.
Just play the version where he says that the white race is done and that he can't wait for them to be killed.
Here we go.
If that's the clip.
Be able to lean into their victories. So it'll be less difficult. It'll be easier to deliver our message. It'll be more difficult, though, because the establishment will not underestimate us. They will continue to undermine us, but they will not underestimate us. So the knives will be out.
What the fuck?
Also,
what the? That's not the fucking meltdown. That's not what I was looking for.
No. The meltdown was a compilation that Alex aired.
Do you don't have it?
I do have, but it's kind of long. It's a part of a broader, longer clip.
Okay, hold on. I found it. I gotta hear this shit. In fact, I'll play this while I take a piss. As soon as it's done loading. Yeah, it's about 6.5 minutes. I don't want to play the whole thing, but we'll play some of it. I don't understand the appeal with Hasan Piker.
I mean, he's like a young, handsome-ish Ottoman Turk, but you ever see him do a Muay Thai kick? It's so fucking pathetic, dude.
our time will come. I mean, look, it's likely that Francesca Hong is going to lose. Okay? I mean, I don't know. Unless there's some mules and we stuff the ballots and we end up winning Milwaukee absentee ballots, which is fairly unlikely. But